What's up YouTube, G Dickens. Today I'm going to show you guys how I wrap my tattoo machines, just to keep them as sterile as I possibly can for before, during, and after the use. So first thing I do when I go to wrap my tattoo machine is I get my piece of barrier film. Barrier film is super important because it will actually create a seal between the cartridge and the actual grip. As bags don't typically do that, saran wrap, it can, it's not as durable. But we'll get back to that in a second because I do actually saran wrap my tattoo machine as well, so I don't have a big bag hanging off the end of it. But as you can see, the barrier film does stick very good to pretty much any glossy finish tattoo machine. So like the Bishop wands have more of like a gritty finish, so the barrier film doesn't stick that great to it. But they do have disposable grips, which I do highly recommend to anybody who has the availability and the funds to get them. It is 100% the most sterile way that you can use these tattoo machines. But with that being said, I'm going to keep continuing on to how I wrap my Flux without using disposable grips, which FK Irons actually did just release the disposable grip for the FK Irons Flux, as well as the XO and the Flux Max. So be sure to check those out too, because again, like I said, I do recommend using disposable grips at all whenever you possibly can. So continuing on with, once you get the barrier film on here and it clings really nicely to the tattoo machine, you actually have a nice tight seal already. But once we break through that with the cartridge, you'll see what I mean here in a second. After I put the barrier film on, what I do is I just take a piece of saran wrap to create the rest of the seal on the machine. So now you can see the whole rest of the machine is completely wrapped. There's no accessibility for any contaminants or anything to get onto my tattoo machine while I'm using it. Now once I do that, because I like to adjust my throw, or not my throw, my needle length, I kind of give it a nice break real quick. Now that I have my grip freed up, nothing can slip on and off because the barrier film as well as the saran wrap stick really well to the tattoo machine. I like to give her a good wrap. This is the only thing I wrap, this is why I have so many kids. And as you can see, I go over the motor housing and I come back down. That way I completely cover that split that I had from breaking the saran wrap to be able to freely spin my grip. Now you can see it's 100% completely wrapped, and you can see that I'm able to spin my grip to adjust to throw. So it's important that you don't go too tight up here. That way you're able to spin this, because if you wrap the barrier or the adhesive wrap really tight on this, you're not going to be able to. So now that I have that, I am going to grab one of my practice cartridges, and I am going to show you guys what it looks like when you actually break the barrier film seal. So typically what I do is I just poke the hole with the front of the needle, boom, just like that, and I'm able to take the plunger bar and put it right in there, and I just give it a quick pop and I pull back out, because what that's going to do is that's going to actually give you the ability to pull out this part of the barrier film that you don't want to get inside of your tattoo machine. It's very important that you don't shove this inside your machine, because your plunger bar will suck this up into your motor housing. So now that you got that little circle piece out, you'll see that I have a little bit left over here. So what I do is I push this down, and just like it sticks to the outside of the machine, it's going to create that nice seal on the inside of the grip as well. That way once you go to put the cartridges inside and outside, it's not going to allow any fluids, inks, any type of liquids to get inside of your tattoo machine grip, which is super important. When taking your cartridges in and out, it's extremely important that you only grab it from this part of the needle, because if you touch it up in like where inside of the membrane is in the plunger bar, you're just going to contaminate the inside of your machine. So it's extremely important that you keep this part of your cartridges very sterile. That way this stays very sterile. And as you can see, the seal is still there. Every time you go to put this back in, your seal is still there. Every time you put the next one back in, your seal is still going to be there. I do recommend these clear trays here that I have on my actual tray. because you're able to set these down just like this every single time, and you only have to touch. It doesn't matter which slot it is, it's gonna be the same thing. And then you're able to put it back in there, and again, still sealed all the way around. So that there's how I wrap my FK Irons Flux. If you guys have any questions on how to wrap any other machines I have, like the Zions or anything like that, I'd be more than happy to do that for you guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel. If you have any recommendations, questions, or anything regarding any other tattoos, tattoo machines, or anything else tattoo related, feel free to shoot a comment right down on this video. Appreciate you guys.